talked a lot about how you should enjoy this year, enjoy this feeling. Even Monday, I thought Monday's show was fantastic. There was no funeral in here. It was, hey, Warriors got him. What a season the Kings had. Look back on it, talk about it, blah, 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 blah. That's not going to be the case next year.
Mm-mm.
And, I think what will be interesting to follow is win totals, seeding. I don't know what Vegas is going to project them at. I think they were, 30, anywhere from 33.5 to 35.5 this year.
Mm-hmm.
We also know a lot of people aren't buying those 48 wins, because they stayed healthy. The gall, the gums, the nerve of the Kings to stay healthy.
They weren't really that good. They just stayed healthy.
They just stayed healthy because, crappy players who stay healthy can win games. Yeah, that's a new one. But I don't know what that win total is going to be set at. Again, that has nothing to do with Mike Brown and the players inside that locker room. But it does set a marker for fans.
Yeah.
And unlike years past, I don't think we have to look at the Las Vegas numbers. I mean, it's always interesting to see for sure. But the number you look at, and I think this is what Monty McNair was talking about yesterday, the number you look at is 48. So that's what you finished at this year.
Mm-hmm.
Are you improving? How are you improving? Are you a 3 seed again, but are you a 3 seed with 50 something wins? Are you a 3 seed again, but finishing at the 48 wins again? There's going to be a story behind next season, just like there was a story behind this season. But there's a lot of nexts for the Sacramento Kings,
mm-hmm.
And they all kind of jumble up together. The lottery doesn't really matter this year. The draft is a little over a month away, and man, it's then it's free agency watch. And I think that's the number one thing Kings fans have their eyes on is free agency.
So let me
unless Chris Murray is drafted.
Yeah.
Would it be weird?
Yeah, I wouldn't want Chris Murray here.
Really?
Not like, I don't want to say it like that, but
is he a top 20?
Yeah, he's in that range.
Player?
He seems to be in that range from a lot of the mocks that I see.
I haven't looked at one mock draft yet.
I looked a couple times.
Who's number 2? Sorry, I just
Scoot.
Scoot's still number 2?
I've seen a couple of Brandon
both?
Millers.
Okay.
I've seen more Scoots than Brandon Millers, but I've seen some Brandon Millers.
Okay, but why wouldn't you want Chris here then?
I just, that seems like a bit of a distraction. Like, because then, the media always asking Keegan, oh, you're playing with your brother, asking Chris, playing with your twin brother. I guess.
Well, they've been asked that their whole life.
Yeah, I think they're off that.
Did Brooke and Robin play on the same team?
In the NBA, I don't think so. Obviously, they went to the same college.
Yeah.
I don't think so in the NBA.
Okay.
But I think, I don't know. I just feel like they might be off that. I could be completely wrong. I don't know them. I haven't talked to them or their father or anything. But it seems like let them go have their own paths as professionals instead of being linked.
So, that's fine until you get to, where are the Kings, 24?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, the best player available just happens to be the brother of a player we have.
Yeah, no, I get it. But so he's the best player available, but does he fit the Kings' need?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I'm not in draft mode yet, bro. Give me a week. Yeah, I got you on Monday.
I don't think he is. Like, if he's there and more athletic 3-and-D type guy is there, I think that's the best player for the Kings.
Doesn't this beg the? I feel like this conversation, maybe it doesn't come up once a year, but I feel like it comes up. Shouldn't free agency happen before the draft?
I always forget how I feel about that. I don't know. My first thought is it doesn't.
I'm outraged. I can't remember why.
I think because I feel like the conversation centers around basketball and the NFL need to switch how they go about things. I think people have said they'd rather the NFL draft happen before NFL free agency, and they'd rather NBA free agency happen before the NBA draft. I feel like that's what people say a lot of the times. And they're both obviously the opposite.
Yeah.
And not in the right place for either league.
Well, maybe like I mean, maybe it's free agency before the draft. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like it might work better,
I
but
don't know. I'm trying to think. Yeah,
they could change it and be
Free
like, "Hey, it
agency
worked
before the
better the
draft.
other way. Go back."
well, yeah.
I'm trying to figure out
It
trade
doesn't. But it doesn't work with their calendar.
right.
with the
It
NBA's
doesn't. Right.
calendar.
No, it doesn't.
Especially now since
Because
they're
the
making,
finals and summer league sandwich
since,
those two
since
things.
summer league is now like
A thing.
yeah,
A big thing.
they're like, well, no, we can't move off of that.
Yeah. That's money.
Yeah,
We're literally getting the entire NBA world into one place for an entire weekend.
right. I forgot the WNBA All-Star Game was there this year. I definitely want to go to that.
But that's the next weekend, though, isn't it?
Is it the next weekend? I thought it was the same weekend.
It can't be the first weekend of summer
Must not
league.
be. Must not be.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah.
Because those are all that's the
when it
the
should
earthquake
be.
game. That's the Zion game. Like, but that's where the marquee games are. The marquee games are that first weekend.
Yeah, marquee games are on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You can put All-Star Game on a Sunday. Or
Oh yeah, you could.
You could
could
open those games, open Sunday up and not have Scoop versus Wemby on Sunday. Make that on Monday or Saturday.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But I think you're right.
Maybe
in
not
that
put the
it's-
All-Star game at 10 a.m. or whatever
there's that.
weird time it was on.
I think
It is.
It's the next weekend?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
July 15th.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
summer league starts the
6th or
7th.
7th,
Yeah,
yeah.
6th or 7th. Yeah.
Hmm.
If you'd like to sponsor D'Lo and Casey's trip to summer league,
Please help us, please.
please contact rich.ripley at odyssey.com. We will make your business proud. Again, that's rich.ripley at odyssey.com.
Yeah.
Yo, shout out to our people, Michelob Ultra Arena. We just did a month-long thing
now.
with Michelob. Rich, if you're listening,
Rich, Justine,
let's get this done.
come on now. We did good business with them.
We did great business with them.
Yeah, great business, man. Let's do it again. Stance again.
The trip just got a little bit longer, though. We were originally thinking 3 days. Now we're thinking maybe 8.
Or just send us back.
I don't know.
We'll come back on Sunday, then we'll go back out the following Friday.
Okay.
Damn, then I'll have to be there like the next week too, personally.
You're really pushing it. And I'm going the next month.
Oh, jeez.
I'm really getting uncomfortable with these Vegas trips.
Also, Super Bowl's in Vegas next year.
Also, let's not forget we may have other obligations
at
that time too.
Got to use their studios. So the thing about, excuse me, we do have a cough button. It just came out of nowhere. But the thing about whether or not, like, what next year will look like. I think a lot of the times, and I understand it. I'm not saying one is right or wrong. I think you focus on win total. I focus on destination. If they won 48 next year and made it to the second round, that's all that matters is they made it to the second round.
Yeah, I'm not focused on win total at all.
That was just this year. Because remember, we had coming into this season, I was like, well, if they're 40 and 42,
right,
make the playoffs.
I needed to know they were better. Well, no, 40 and 42, I didn't mind. What I was looking at was like, don't be 37. Don't finish like where you were last year. The conference be crap. You get into the play-in, win a playing game, and all of a sudden you're a playoff team because you won 33 games in 2 playing games or a playing game. I didn't want that to me because that doesn't show growth.
I understand.
So
but it
this
didn't
year,
matter
yes,
to me because it was all about.
Okay, so you're right. Yeah, this year the win total did matter because I believe the win total this year showed whether you had improved as a team or not.
I got you.
But you're right. I'll get off that. I'll get off that ship this year, and if it's make the playoffs in advance.
So, and I'll ask everybody out there
or grow, like continue to get better. Don't get beat by offensive rebounds from Kevon Looney-Chamberlain or any other player in the league.
A lot of people talk about the Kings following the same path as the Warriors. right?
I saw that.
And
It
that is
was a
crazy.
very popular video.
That's crazy too, by the way.
The
That-
Steph Curry tweet that's out
yeah,
there.
that's wild.
Sick.
But the Warriors, they got to the second round in their first appearance. Kings lost in the first round. But the next year, the Warriors came back and lost in a 7-game series in the first round. And people probably looked at that as a step back for the Warriors. If the Kings say they're the 6th seed next year and they play Phoenix in the first round, they lose a 7-game series to Phoenix. Obviously, the tone's going to be a little different than this year, the last game of the year this year. But I mean, are we? It's hard to say now on May 4th, but are we still looking at that as like you guys didn't take a step or?
Well, I'm not one. I don't think I'll be overly critical of them, but the story of the season does matter. You're a 6th seed. Okay. Did Domas play 75 games? Did De'Aaron play 75 games? Did your core players play a bulk of the season again? If they did, okay, 6th seed. Okay, 6th seed. That's a number. What was the win total for the 6th seed? 46, 47, 48. Okay. 40? All right. That's kind of problematic. So you're a 41 and 41 6th seed that loses in the first round is different to me than if you're a 48 win 6th seed who loses in the first round.
44 wins. That's what the Warriors had as a 6th seed. 44.
So that's -4. Again, there's more, more story to be told, but I don't think it's the end of the world.
I don't think so either.
Because what you have to are the expectations. Are Kings fans believing the expectations for next year are to win a championship? That's what that's essentially what we're talking about, right? Do you think the Sacramento Kings are your expectations for your Sacramento Kings next year to win an NBA championship? Because if they're not, like where they get eliminated, and this is something I was processing midway through the fourth quarter on Sunday, is I didn't think they were winning a title. So the fact that they got beat by a team who I think might be capable of doing it, it's not the end of the world. It sucks. We wanted it bad. But, it was I just wish we would have beat the Warriors. I just wish we would have beat the Warriors. We were all so emotionally invested in the Warriors series, whether it's the regions or the trash talking or whatever. We were so emotionally invested in it. Well, it only would have taken a day and a half for you to get really emotionally invested in the Lakers series. So when in a lot of our heads, we think, oh, it would have been fine if we lost the next series. No, that would have sucked too. Because it would have been the Lakers. Had it been the Grizzlies, maybe you feel different, but you probably wouldn't have because you would have gotten into the emotion of that series. And I don't think my expectations for this team as constructed right now is to win an NBA championship next year or to represent the West. Now that could change come June and July. Sure. But I think this is a really good team that can. I think this team as is, and I don't believe this is the team we're going to see in October. I believe this team as is can take a step forward next year.
I think they can too. Right now, don't hold me to this because things might change.
I'm going to.
Throughout the next 6 months or whatever. But right now, the main goal is to get back to the playoffs. That's the goal. If they got back to the playoffs,
don't be Minnesota.
Right. If they got back to the playoffs and lost in the first round, I'm not looking at that as buzzword these playoffs, but as a failure. Because you're establishing something. You're establishing that you are a perennial playoff team. You're still trying to do that. So you've got to get back to the playoffs. We always talk about the golden times and all this other stuff. After 99, they got back to the playoffs and lost in the first round again. They were an 8th seed again and got to the playoffs and lost. So I think the most important thing for this team next year, and once again, it's May 4th. Feelings can change. But how I feel right now is you got to get back into the playoffs. That's the goal. And where you finish that season from there, I hesitate to say it's gravy, but
Mhm.
kinda is.